All right, people, so it's going to be a little bit windy, but that's all right. I just want to get some of this coverage for you. This right here is Old Faithful. We're in Wyoming right now, so I just wanted to show you this and let you know what is going on with this SpaceX Starlink setup that we have. I moved over to T-Mobile specifically for the SpaceX Starlink to have that satellite service. And what I found out is that throughout Wyoming now, as well as when we were in Big Sky, guess what? No service. There was a time when we were trying to get to the lodge and there was a big wreck. It's a one-lane road. It's a very big wreck that happened with an 18-wheeler, and we were stuck there for about, I would say about 45 minutes or so. And we didn't have any service at all. And the only service that we did have on the phone was a service that Apple provided, whereas you have to go and sit there and try to direct your phone in a specific direction to aim at a satellite, all this kind of nonsense. Well, this is where we're at, guys. Not really happy about it, to be completely honest with you. Not happy about it. I called T-Mobile. I let them know what was going on. They told me to let them know what was the location or the zip code where it happened. I let them know. They said, oh, you know, in that area we are having some problems. I'm like, how are you having problems? I don't get that. How is it possible that you can have problems if this is supposed to be going through a satellite? It's not going through you. They're basically using your spectrum, and that is it. That means that there's something with a satellite or something that's not working. Well, that's okay if that was only happening in Big Sky, right? Well, now we're about an hour and a half away from Big Sky. We are in Wyoming now. And guess what? The exact same thing is going on here. We have no service at all. And instead of having a satellite type of service, we do not have satellite service at all unless it is the Global Star junk. So, yeah, not really happy with this, really not. And I'm going to get into it a little bit deeper because I want to tell you guys exactly what's going on. And hopefully we can get to the bottom of this because I don't know, guys, you know, I've been talking and being a proponent of the SpaceX Starlink method of connection, right? Using their DTC or their direct-to-cell connection. And it is not working. And the strange thing about this is it was working when we ended up getting hit with the Hurricane Helene, I believe it was. And there was no problem. We had service. We was able to text Fabiola back and forth. Everything was perfect. And now we're sitting here in a situation, whereas yesterday we really needed the service because it was, let's call it a quote unquote emergency type of situation. Well, we didn't have it. That was it. There was nothing that we can do. We're not getting satellite coverage. We should have satellite coverage here. Unless there's something that I'm not aware of, you know, maybe this is a dark zone where they cannot have coverage because of one reason or another reason, because it is Yellowstone. We are in the national park. So once again, I'm going to dive into this for you guys because I want you guys to know in real world, will it work? And as of yesterday, I can say, no, it did not work. They did say that there's an outage, like I said, but what does that even mean, guys? What does that mean? Some kind of outage? I don't know. Once again, I'm going to dive into this when I'm back. I'll probably run some of this footage so you guys have it. I'll make a short out of this or something and then put it out there. But hopefully you're enjoying the coverage because we are now wandering around. Before we were in Europe, now we're no longer in Europe. We are currently in Yellowstone, but we're kind of moving around. We got to see Big Sky. Big Sky is beautiful. Maybe in the 80s at night. It comes down to about 50 degrees, but it is a snow location, right? Someplace you're going to go snowboarding, snow skiing, whatever. But we're here obviously during the summer. So anyways, I hope you enjoy this coverage. Let me know what you've experienced with SpaceX Starlink's DTC service. Are you getting DTC service where you are? Have you had times where you were off grid and you were able to have coverage? And if that is the case, where were you when you had this coverage? In what location? What zip code? What state? Where were you that it was working? Because I can tell you it was working perfectly for me in Florida, you know, and as of right now, it's not. Now, that includes Montana, where we are in Blue Sky, and now here in Wyoming, Yellowstone. So we'll see what ends up happening. I'm going to dig into it a little bit deeper and hopefully get to the bottom of this for you guys, so you know what is the truth, what is going on with DTC. Is it actually that good, or is it lackluster when it comes to an emergency? Because as of right now, it's feeling a little bit lackluster. Could be me, but we will see. Anyways, guys, many blessings. We'll see you in the next one. I'm going to play some footage maybe of this actually going off just a few minutes ago. It was quite amazing. Take care, guys. Love you all. All right, so we switched spots. We were at Old Faithful, and now we're fly fishing. So I just want to give you an update on this last video that I put together, this beginning portion of this video, I guess, when I was talking about the DTC service and how it's really not what I expected it to be. And the reason being is I had such a good experience with it in Florida. During the Hurricane Helene, no problems at all. We ended up getting service inside of a building. Sounds all good and everything. And I reported on that. Well, now we are in Montana and service is abysmal. Now, T-Mobile service is okay, nothing special. It's all right. In certain spots, it's really good. AT&T is good in other places. Matter of fact, when we were at Old Faithful, Verizon was a little bit better. So you're going to have tower issues. I don't mind that too much. That's, it is what it is. But what I have a problem with is the DTC service. Now, if there was 100 satellites up there, 200 satellites that there were before, I would say, okay, I get it. Well, as of right now, according to, I think it's Jonathan McDowell, I think he's the one that takes care of keeping the count. Well, he said there was like 623, I think it was, not that long ago. So let's call it over 600 of the DTC satellites. If you don't know what DTC satellites are, let me just preface this whole video, I guess I should, before I even get too deep into this. DTC is basically a Starlink satellite, a version 2 satellite that's retrofitted with an eNode B. An eNode B is basically a modem that converts the satellite into a cell tower, let's call it. So you have a cell tower on orbit. All right, so everything's been doing really well when it comes to emergency service and using it. And I ended up switching from AT&T to T-Mobile so that I can have this service, all right? Now, I could have got it and paid extra $10 per month, but I'm like, you know what? I want to switch anyways, so let's go ahead and get the higher plan with T-Mobile and get it, and that's what I did. I was expecting a lot more. Now, like I said, we're in Montana, and the service has been non-existent when it comes to DTC. It doesn't matter where I am. Now, people will be like, oh, you're in a valley, there's mountains here, it's mountains everywhere. Yes, that is the case. But it gets deeper than that, all right? It's definitely deeper than that, because in certain areas where there should absolutely be coverage, there isn't. And that's the kind of thing that really gets me. Now, there was no coverage when we're here in Montana. When we're in blue sky, there was no coverage at all. But also when we were in Wyoming, there was no coverage there either for when we were hanging out over there looking at the Old Faithful, right? And we ended up going to I think it was like another spring. They were just absolutely beautiful. Matter of fact, I will run some video during this video of some of that, because there was, I think it's, man, it almost looked holographic, some of these springs, and the coloring is just absolutely gorgeous. And what I found out was all that coloring that you see in these springs is due to different bacteria growth, let's say, in these hot springs. It's boiling water. And you'd think, well, how is that even possible? Well, it is. So anyways, long story short, this has just not been working very well. So it started out when we first got here. We ended up getting into this traffic jam on the way to the hotel. It's actually a lodge, Big Sky. And it was on, I believe it was US 191, I think is what it was. And it's like the main drag that goes into Big Sky. So there's not a lot of options, and it's 2 lanes, and a big rig kind of screwed up, and there was an accident. Well, in this accident, we were sitting there with a line of like a mile of people, and there is no service, right? There's no cell service. So I'm like, okay, well, I have DTC, right? Yeah, no, don't have DTC. The phone was only doing the normal global star nonsense, saying, listen, point this way, point that way, hold on, we're locking in, point that way, only to send a little bit of data. And that's basically Apple's global star doing its thing because SpaceX Starlink isn't available. So we ended up getting through this jam. So if there was an emergency, we'd be hard pressed to get any type of emergency service, even with Global Star. It was absolutely horrendous. But we got to the hotel, we got to the lodge, and I called in to T-Mobile and I said, you know what? Let me find out what the story is, and maybe they can tell me. They said, oh, where are you located? So I told them where I was located. Oh, what's the zip code? I give them the zip code, and they said, oh, we have problems in that area the last couple of days. I'm like, these people are full of shit, guys. These people are full of shit, okay? And the reason why I say this is because they are not having problems. SpaceX Starlink is having problems. They're only, if you guys don't know it, T-Mobile is only giving them their spectrum, let's say, right? They're doing all the back end stuff, authentication of SIMs, all the rest of this kind of thing, right? But the actual connection with the satellites and all of this is going on through your phone directly through SpaceX Starlink satellites. So it has nothing to do with them. It's almost like something that they're saying because it is in beta phase, I suppose. They did say they rolled it out, but it's not working everywhere. I can tell you that for sure. So we know for sure that it's not happening at all in Montana. All right. I mean, we went through a large portion of Montana by car, and it's not working at all. Never seen it work. Only went to the SOS through Apple's Global Star. Also, when we're in Wyoming, same exact thing. No DTC service at all. Zero. Even when there's no connection at all, when it should pick it up, and we're in an area where there's no mountains. Like, for example, right now, this is pretty open, all right? Even though you'll see mountains in the background, where I am, where we're doing this fly fishing, well, it's pretty open, all right? We're in a pretty good spot to be able to pick up a good number of satellites. Now remember, there's 623 of them, so it's not like the main satellites that they have up there, which there's 8,000 of. So it's not as many. So that is going to be an issue. And if you guys don't know it, when they are overhead, they're only overhead for about 3 to 5 minutes. They are moving at like 17,500. I mean, they're moving fast, okay? So they're only overhead for a short period of time. But either way, we should have had coverage. And as of right now, and I'm going to keep on keeping on when it comes to this because there's no service out here at all. And seeing where DTC ends up working, if it works at all. Once again, 2 states so far does not work. So we will see what ends up happening, but it gives me pause, and it makes me rethink things a little bit so that when I'm talking to you guys about it, I'm a little bit more aware, and it's not just getting the information online, what someone said, the other guy said, and someone else said. I'm actually experiencing it and finding out for myself that it is not ready for prime time as of right now. If you're going to go into the middle of nowhere and think that you're going to use SpaceX Starlink's DTC service, chances are it's not going to work. That's it. Now, is it going to work down the road? Yes, it's absolutely going to work, but they need more satellites up there. 623 obviously is not going to do it. And it's going to have to be in pristine circumstances. Now, when I say that, I don't understand why that is the case. And the reason being is when I ended up having this working in Florida during Hurricane Helene, we were inside of a building that was 8 to 10 inch thick poured concrete with the ceiling, with the roof, the whole night. And we were doing DTC, and I was sending text messages to my wife through DTC. So why it wouldn't work here in the middle of this expanse when mountains are far away. Right now we have, once again, the little SOS on there. We do not have DTC, nothing. Let me just show you, this is it. I mean, We're in the middle of nowhere, but there's definitely room for any type of satellite to be able to hit us. The problem is it's just simply not. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to give you this information because I think that, number one, it's very important. This channel has always been about getting to the why behind things and digging in a little bit deeper into this. Maybe I can find out why this is happening, because going through T-Mobile, they are not giving me the why. They're giving me the runaround bullshit, basically saying that, oh, it's our fault, and in that specific zip code we're having problems. No, man, you're not having a problem in that zip code. You're having a problem in an entire state, in multiple states. So we traveled yesterday about 2 to 3 hours out from Big Sky, okay? And through the entire time, I was not able to pick up DTC service anywhere. Zip, nothing. So bear that in mind, okay? So once again, if you are in a situation like this and you're going to go into a rural location someplace that you're not going to be able to have any type of service, my suggestion to you is get a mini, one of these, and you're going to end up having to pay the extra, obviously, plan fees, like $150, whatever it is per month, but get the one that you can actually power through a battery and take it with you, put it in your car. If you're going through like what we did, we went through Yellowstone, there is no cell towers, right? There is nothing in Yellowstone. So have a backup plan. Have GPS, that's number one, would be really good to have some type of GPS that's not on your phone, that's reliant on a tower. Okay, have a GPS system, maybe a Garmin or something like that, or just simply have a SpaceX Starlink Mini, throw it on the dashboard, and now you're gonna have as much connectivity that you can dream about without a problem. And even if you're in an area with all of these mountains like this, where you're still going to have enough sky to be able to find a satellite without a problem. Remember, those satellites are 8,000, not 623. There's 8,000 of them. So there's going to be plenty overhead that you'll be able to use. So anyways, we'll see you in the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you have, throw the video a thumbs up as always. I hope you like the experiences that I'm going through and me sharing them with you. If you like it, you want to say thank you, there's a thank you button over there. You can give $1 or $2 if you like. If not, it's perfectly fine. Consider becoming a member of the channel. That would be even better. Even better. Also, head over to my website, JCristina.com. Once again, JCristina.com. See if there's any merch over there that you like. If there is, please pick it up. Help support me and my family. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected, hopefully through SpaceX Starlink. Maybe not DTC, but SpaceX Starlink. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care. Peace.